Phil Bouffler is our next guest on our Friday night sports show. That's repeated on Saturday mornings, and thanks to O'Connor's. Here is our Hume Football League report. Phil, how are you?
Well, thanks, Wayne. Had another 20 mils of rain just at my joint. A lot more east of Lockhart, north, but nice sunny day today after the rain.
Oh, look, the rain that came your way, it avoided us at the field days, which they were expecting, wet field days over at Speed in the Valley of Victoria, but it went above and around and then dumped itself. I reckon Colin Gully could be pretty wet.
Wet at that side of town is pretty wet out there, so... But these days, like 10 mils, like an inch, really. It's so wet. There's so much water coming out of the ground and stuff. It's just incredible.
Yeah, a few creeks, including, what's the one that runs through Lockhart? The Brook On, is it?
Mighty Brook On Creek, so it's broken its banks about the fifth or sixth time this year. So lucky I haven't got round to fixing up my fences. I'll be full-time fencing. It's good, but it's problematic when you get they come down all the time.
Oh, certainly is. Well, the rain was falling for Osborne, 18-10, 118 to the canola farmers. They'll love that bit of extra top-up of rain over how long? 6-5-41. It was first versus third, and the vast gap between Osborne and the rest is certainly apparent.
Bit of a gap down there, Wayne. So I was down there for that day. Huge day at Howlong. They had a couple of premiership reunions. The fellow played his 250th game, so there was a lot in their favour other than the final score. So Howlong had a win in the second, so that's been interesting. But in the first grade, Osborne were far too strong. Mowed it along.
Oh, they did. And I've had this discussion with you all year. And again, looking at the score sheets, you get another, 11, 12 and maybe 13 goal scorers there again. Shared it around. Ryan Collins, 3. Duncan McMaster, 3. 2 to Joel Mackey and Matt Rava. They're 2 stars of the, maybe even of now, but also of past era too. They've been very, very good. And Duncan McMaster, Isaac McDonald and Joel Mackey, Hugh Schmetzer, Clancy Galvin and Matt Rava in the better players.
Well, we're talking about Osborne versus who in the grand final pretty much, so it's just, how the other ones unfold over the next couple of weeks, but that's a big win. Howlong are the big improvers this year, and as I said, everything was going their way for a big day, and unfortunately just not up to it on the day.
Up to it. I'll tell you what Henty were, 10-17 to get the Murray Magpies, 7-9 at home at Henty. Good win.
Good win, but another good effort by the Magpies. They're in front a bit of the day here, so... that looked like it could have been an upset early on, but Henty found a bit of form at home and just came back and had a good win, so well done to Henty.
And 48 goals for the season for Shannon Turlick, but he was joined on the 3 goals for the day by another Turlick. Sam Turlick joined him there.
That was it, yeah, no, so that was, no, we're happy for that. It was a good win.
The good Turlick brothers, Braden Skiers, Heath Olin, Sam Scott got amongst it, Spencer Jones and Luke Bramley tried hard for the Murray Magpies. Having a look at the other matches, and Lockhart had 4 goals on the scoreboard, but Gindera kicked 18-12. A pretty good win for Gindera.
Good win. They needed a good win, Gindera, just to solidify their place in the 6. So that's the sort of games they need to win. You've got to win those games against the lower sides. Lockhart battled hard again. It was a very good game in the first A-grade netball, apparently. Gindera on top and Lockhart only lost by a couple of goals. So that was a bit interesting. But in the footy, too good, Gindera.
Yeah, and well played, Luke Argus, trying really hard. Other names, Angus Grigg, Chait Birkinshaw, Daniel Coates, Lockie Nimmo and Ryan Shaw, McLean Crompton, James McDermott, Ryan Shaw and Connor Widdop, all scored goals for the side defeated. And Josh Lloyd, 6 goals for the winners at Gindera. Good effort from him. Now, CDHBU, very slim finals. Hope kept alive. 15-13, 103 to beat the Crows. 8-7, 55 in the Derby.
In the Derby, so once again, it was a big effort here. No Dane Swan, so they doubled the Crows this time. So he's a good player, Dane Swan. So anyway, that was a good win at home. CDHBU had to really win this. They're sort of round the mark and probably won't get into finals, but they're up and about there.
They certainly are. Me getting my states mixed up. I should have called it the Showdown, really. But anyway, a very nice effort from Michael O'Reilly with 4 goals. And Tim Austin tried hard for the Billabong Crows, along with Christopher Willett and Nick Boris and Logan Kerr, always good in defence. Carl Doherty, Kane Mills and Brent Rose tried hard for the winners. And 6 goals to Carl Doherty doing the damage up forward. And a good performance from the Holbrook side. There's a vast gulf between second and maybe third, fourth or something, with Holbrook 18-6 to beat Rand. 6 goals, 9 to the Giants.
Giants are arguably one of the form sides, Wayne, so that's a big win by Holbrook. Had the game at headquarters at the Walbundry Sports Ground, and so that's another big win. 12 goals almost. They'd be disappointed, Rand. Then there's a bit of a, like if you're 6th or 5th or 6th in that area, there's a bit of a gulf between that and 1, 2, 3. So Holbrook looks pointing towards the Holbrook-Osborne final, but let's see how it happens.
Luke Guestier has had a very good 3 weeks. He kicked another 7 on top of the 7 and the 5 in the preceding couple of weeks, and he was one of the better players on the ground. For Ramwell Waller, they had Nathan Wardius, a couple from him. Chris Duck, Jack Duck were the 2 best players. The 2 Ducks were in the pond, probably the 40 mils that have fallen around that area, the 2 Ducks. What about Carl Cairn there? Got nailed by Brock Burham 16-13 to 3-5, and Phil, that says a lot, I think, for Carl Cairn's season.
I think that's, the fat lady mightn't be singing, but she's in the wings tuning up, I think. The Brock Burham, they'd had a couple of off games, they'd been up and down a little bit, but that's a very good win, really. Colcan have got a good side, so to go to Colcan and win by that much, that's a very good effort. So, they've been stung a bit, the BB Saints, they're probably not performing as well as they should have been, so that was actually a good win. Yeah,
their stars got going. Ronald Bolton, 5 goals, Ty Neander, and he was with 3, and Hansted and John Spencer, a couple, and Alex Wilson and Darcy Anson were very good. Just the 1 goal to 3/4 time by Colcan too says something about their effort. Luke Bockick and Brady Peake okay for them in the end. But it was a very, very good round of footy. It means the premiership ladder looks pretty set. You've got Osborne up there at 60, 52 to Holbrook. It was 40 to Brock Burham up into 3rd. Howlong 4th with 40. And then Ginger at 32, 5th, and Rand, while Bundry Waller, they're in 6th with 32. That's 1.5 games clear of CDHBU, but their percentage is okay. They're on 26, so they're still probably, I think, the only side that has a chance. And CDHBU would have to start by beating Brock Burham at Brocklesby. If they did that, they'd be a slight chance of finals still.
All depends, it's the time of year now, Wayne, where you're not only relying on yourself to win, but unfortunately you've got to rely on other sides to lose. So it's a bad position to be in when you're relying on other teams to lose. You've got to be the master of your own destiny a little bit in this game. So mathematically, 7 and 8 are still a show, CDHBU and Colcan. But we'll just have to see. Hendy might have, they're another 2 points behind. They might be done. But Colcan and CDHU definitely mathematically possible, but we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Brock Burham, for me, I think can put CDHBU to rest after their good form last week. I think the Power will try really hard, and there's a bit of rivalry too between these 2 near neighbours on the map. Colcan play Henty, a bit of rivalry between these 2 near neighbours up at Henty. I'm going to tip Henty to get to the Lions here.
Yeah, Henty was at that game in the first round, and Henty had a good win that day. So it was a close game all game, and Colcan came home really well in the last bit. Just couldn't quite get there. If they had gone for another couple of minutes, they'd have won that game, but I think it was 3 points or something like that. So, but I think Henty probably at the moment are playing a little bit better. So at home, they seem to be going well there. So I'd probably pick Henty as well.
The Billabong Crows and Oaklands on their home deck take on the Murray Magpies, and I reckon the grain growers out there at the silos of Oaklands will be too good.
Probably, but once again, Murray Magpies played well last week against Henty, so there's every chance they'd fancy themselves here a little bit. The Crows were disappointing against CDHBU, so I'd expect them to lift. I'll probably just slightly... I might pick the Magpies in an upset. There you go.
All right. Osborne and Ramwell Waller. Always a bit of a niggle in this, and a lot of friendship across the area. The Pleasant Hills folk are always very pleasant, aren't they? So they're about halfway between the 2. I'm going to tip Osborne, though, to be will win the pleasantries.
Very pleasant area. So I'm just thinking Osborne will be too strong, Wayne. As I said before, they're just going through the gears, and they've probably got a 9-speed gearbox, and they probably haven't gone out of 7th yet. So we'll just have to see. But I just think they'll be too strong on the day.
Yeah, Wilby Wardius would have to have a blinder, and I just think their midfield, the Duck Boys and others, will have to have a sensational day. I think Osborne, just with that purring engine, it's like a Rolls Royce, maybe taking on a Ford Falcon or something like that in the context. But Holbrook are a bit of an Audi at the moment. They're going well. Lockhart might be a Leyland P76 this year, but I'll tell you what, they'll try hard.
They're trying every week, Wayne, so they're trying. I've won a few friends this year, Lockhart, with their turning up and trying, and they've had a few hidings along the way, but they haven't dropped their bundle or anything like that. It's a credit to them, really. They're young kids and that, and would have been fantastic if they had got one win for the year just to perk them up a bit, but I don't think they'll get it, and they certainly won't get it on Saturday.
And Jindaroos play how long? Match of the round. This is going to be an absolute beauty. And the two sides could actually end up meeting in a finals match too, just the way the table is sitting. So a big game for bragging rights for the Bulldogs down there against an arch rival in how long?
We've got one team coming off a big win and one off a big loss. So, the other gender will be confident, and how long will be smarting after their last effort. So I think this will be a pretty good game, this. I think how long? I think they're a good side. How long? They could bounce back, but just probably at home, I'll just slightly favour Jindra.
Ooh, he's gone that way. Fourth and fifth. This is a beauty, isn't it? It really isn't. The way it sits now, they would play each other in that first elimination final, Phil.
They'll be close, Wayne. So I'll actually that'll be the game I'm going to. I'm going to go down to Albury this afternoon, so I'll have a night in Albury. Then I'll call in at this game on the way home tomorrow. So I think it'll be a really good game.
All right, it's going to be great. Going to be good. That the way in which the footy season's unfolding. And, of course, across the other grades too, there's some terrific football being played in reserves and in the underage sides. And we'll have more as this season unfolds with Phil Bouffler from the Hume Footy League. We thank you for your time.
No worries, Wayne. Thank you.